Okay, so Evil Dead the game released actual gameplay through Game Informer today, yesterday? It was yesterday. So we're going to take a closer look at what they've shown us and talk about it a little bit. Thankfully, there was some leaked gameplay from another channel that got banned on Twitch, so while the edited gameplay looks good, seeing a full normal match gives some much needed perspective to the edited gameplay. I'll leave you a link to the leaked gameplay in the description because we want it to stick around as long as possible before it gets taken down. So, if I talk about something that isn't apparent in the official gameplay, check out the leaked match and you'll probably see what I'm talking about. So let's get to it.
Space Coconut.
The number one problem that survivors are going to have is fighting over weapons and upgrades. There are different grades to weapons, where legendary weapons are orange and common ones are gray, with all the MMO shades in between. There are, of course, ways to alleviate this, but I don't think that any core changes are going to happen to the game once it releases. To clarify what I'm talking about, these little pink bottles are basically points you can put into your character during the match to upgrade them. Depending on the category you put them in, it will give you a boost to that category. So if you're like me and you don't have any friends to play with, you're going to be playing with randoms, and there's a high likelihood that they're going to steal all of your upgrades and decent weapons if you're not fast enough to steal all of them first. For this situation, it might just be a good idea to always play with a group of players. Your friends, preferably, right? Which leads us to the next problem. There probably aren't enough likes on the video right now. Fix that for me, will ya? And hit the sub button while you're at it. By their own words, it sounds like the demon role is more difficult than the survivor role, and that a group of survivors are going to dumpster demon players pretty easily on a regular basis.
You have to be, if you're playing as the demon, I'm going to be honest with you, you have to be a lot better at the game than playing a survivor, because you're going to have to macromanage and micromanage a bunch of different things all going on at once.
Yeah.
Because while this demon player is doing fairly well in this demo, a coordinated team of survivors will absolutely annihilate anything you possess within seconds.
Of course, we'll have to wait about a month until we see the people who play daily start rolling with their epic strats and plays, as well as when everyone gets used to the maps and their own playstyles. Once that happens, everyone will have a clearer picture about the balance between the roles, and we'll start to see the real reviews come out. It does leave me concerned, though, at how blatantly they talked about coordinated survivors taking out demons, though. And looking at the demon gameplay, I can see why. The demon needs to run around looking for energy to attack the survivors, which is very reminiscent of OG Freddy, the worst killer in Dead by Daylight for quite a long time. His problem was that he couldn't attack survivors until they were in the dream world, a process that took about 7 seconds to activate, which created its own set of problems for the killer. In this case, it looks like the time it takes to gather energy offers little payout compared to the power survivors can gather through talismans and ammunition in the same amount of time. Melee attacks and their damage weren't that clear, but it should be expected that the weaker Deadites wouldn't actually be able to take out the survivors, but when grouped up at Pages or the Knife, the Lieutenant or even the main demon itself would probably be taken out pretty quickly by the group of players. The gameplay has always been my main concern, but the rest of the game looks pretty organized. The progression system looks to be like a reasonable grind at first glance without knowing how many points are gained and how they'll be used to level up the characters. It looks like each character is leveled individually without sharing perks or other effects, so even if a single character's grind is long, it won't be necessary to grind out many others unless you actually want to use that character, which is a plus. I particularly like that you can choose which role to play, unlike Friday the 13th and Last Year the Nightmare, where the evil role was chosen at random. When we look at the demon gameplay, we see that it's exactly like the Mastermind in Resident Evil Resistance. You have a limited resource to spit out monsters and you have to manage them as well as pay attention to what the survivors are doing. Now, this is all very appealing to some players, but how appealing was it to the Mastermind players of Resident Evil? Of course, it didn't help that Resistance was a side game tacked onto a $60 game and didn't receive the support it would have needed to be successful. But let's look past that for now. There was another game that died in beta that worked very similarly. Breach was something I was interested in, where the Veiled Demon would summon monsters and send them against a team of 4 in a linear dungeon. and this was to stop them from achieving their goal at the end. I was in the beta for this, and let me tell you, it was crazy hectic and difficult to keep track of everything. I can imagine that the gameplay for the demon role in Evil Dead the game is going to be very similar, and I'm not sure how players will enjoy playing this role compared to playing as a survivor. If this becomes the norm, then survivors are going to see longer and longer queue times compared to the demon. But the biggest problem I see the game facing is a lack of variety. While games like Dead by Daylight and VHS have simple objectives that are the same between each match, how those matches play out in both of those games are greatly different in their variety. This is of course my opinion, so don't cry too hard, but matches in Dead by Daylight feel very samey, with very little distinction between them other than the killer chosen and the map. Survivor perks are usually the same every match, and the choice of killers isn't much better. This has been the trend and the meta for the past 7 years of Dead by Daylight. In VHS, the matches can play out differently depending on the tactics both sides choose to employ. Perks aren't game-changing, so perks are always different depending on the playstyle of the player. There are only 3 monsters, so there's little variety there, but the tactics Wart and Dollmaster can use can add some flavor to the match. Werewolf just goes fast and hits teens, so, there's not much to that character. Evil Dead the game looks like it's going to have a similar problem to Dead by Daylight, where each match is going to be against a standard team with a standard loadout using the same basic strategies. The only differences being the locations of the various items the survivors need to find on the map, but each encounter will play out with the same script each time without much deviation. Unless the gameplay really feels fun and each side can find a playstyle that they enjoy using in the game, players aren't going to find much joy reliving the same match over and over and over for several hundred hours. However, this is just my opinion based on the edited gameplay Game Informer released and the single match linked in the description below. You can watch those yourself and come to your own conclusions. In the meantime, I have 1 month to decide if learning more about Evil Dead the game is worth the $40 price tag for the cheapest version of the game on the Epic Game Store. Maybe I will, because after all, if I don't, I might have to come back to Dead by Daylight until VHS is available again, which isn't exactly ideal. Anyway, we'll see how it turns out in a month. In the meantime, let me know what you thought about this video and the gameplay in the comments below. That's about all for now, so until next time, I'm Space Coconut, and you're welcome.